Very good morning, Abuja. This is Saturday, February 12, 2022, and this is FCT Decides, reaching you live from NTA Channel 5, Abuja. I am Ifoma Ojinta, promising you a wide range of coverage of the elections as our team of reporters are already on the field across the 6 area councils of the territory. Now, a total of 58 observer groups have been accredited, that is 55 domestic observer groups and 3 foreign observer groups, with 2,242 field observers, while 45 media houses were accredited by INEC with 340 field journalists. Also, aside the FCT Resident Electoral Commissioner Yaya Bello, the polls will be supervised by 6 other resident electoral commissioners from selected states in the country. Once again, welcome to FCT Decides. And I'll be joined for analysis today by a series of guests, but for now we have a political affairs analyst. Is of the Department of Political Science and International Relations. As a matter of fact, he is the head of that department. I have Professor Sherif Gali Ibrahim. It's good to have you on set this morning, Prof.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, we have the Director, Voter Education and Publicity, INEC, Mr. Victor Aluko. It's good to have you, sir, on set today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it is the D-Day. How do you feel?
I feel good. We feel good in INEC.
All right. Now, as FCT decides, we have a team of reporters. I think we have a reporter ready to talk to us from Abaji. Onotu, if you can hear me, tell us what is the latest from Abaji, before we go into our discussions. Onotu, if you can hear me, it's over to you. What is happening in Abaji right now?
Thank you very much, Ifoma. I can hear you loud and clear. Presently, I am at Abaji East, at the old Honors Palace, polling unit 001. For the situation here, it seems that they had a minor challenge starting because as at this morning, we got here some minutes before 8, and when we got here, both the poll officials and the materials had not arrived. In fact, it's past 9 now, and they are just still trying to put finishing touches to the situation here so that they can commence the exercise in earnest. But on arrival, we made inquiries because when we came, the electorates were already here in their numbers, anxiously waiting to see the officials arrive so that they can commence immediately. When the poll officials came, we readily asked them to know why they are coming late, and the main reason they adduced to their late arrival is the fact that there was no, at the INEC office at Abaji here this morning, when they arrived to get their materials and come to the polling unit 001 at the old Honors Palace, the security attachment that was supposed to escort them and the material to the polling unit were readily not available. So, of course, by the rules guiding this exercise, they couldn't get the material to come here. So they had to wait until the security detachment of their team came before they came down to this place to set up. So as it is, they are setting up now. In fact, they've successfully set up, and the people are queued, as you can see them. They are queued and waiting anxiously for the exercise to commence here at the old Honors Palace polling unit 001.
Okay, thank you very much, Onotu. We'll be expecting more updates. Tell us exactly when the exercise commenced and try to get to other polling units. Thank you very much,
of course,
Onotu. And with that, I have to start with you, Director of Voter Education and Publicity, INEC. The exercise is supposed to commence at 8:30, but going by the report from Onotu, they are yet to start, even some few minutes past 9. So what happens in this case?
I want to say that most of the units have opened.
Okay.
Most of the units have opened. As at now, most of the units in the FCT have opened. people should just be patient in places where they are trying to open. He said the officials were already on ground. They were setting up. The voters already on queue.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful situation.
Okay.
They should just be patient. Everything will be okay. Voting does not really take long. Before you know it, the old people on the queue must have voted.
Okay, so we won't have any probably extension of time for places like this?
No, it's too early to start talking about extension of time. Like I said, the voting process doesn't really take long. Within a short time, you won't see any queue there again.
All right, okay. Now let's talk to Professor Gali. Now the FCT, you know, you've been around the FCT and you can talk, you know, on the political situation in the FCT. Tell us, you know, or give us an overview of the historical political terrain since the return of democracy in 1999, talking about the FCT area councils.
Well, the FCT area councils, you know, politically have been structured in a manner perfected by democratic tenets. By democratic tenet in the sense that the people living within the 6 area councils periodically have been going to the polls in order to decide who should actually govern at the local council level. But one major issue that actually make me so to say flummoxed, you know, in this particular area is that the indigene non-indigene relationship when it comes to electioneering process and when it comes to the time of elections. FCT being the federal capital territory is meant to be for every Nigerian, so to say. Very sorry, you know, for the indigenes because whoever that is within the FCT is being accommodated by Nigeria, and there is the need to accommodate everybody who is an inhabitant of the FCT. So one major aspect that actually affects the political development of the FCT is this issue of indigenship or non-indigenship, which brings about ethnicity in terms of politicking. In the sense that the indigenes will believe that, look, no matter how, we must produce an indigene, you know, of this particular place. While every day the population is increasing, non-indigenes, you know, are also coming into the FCT. So this actually affects the development of the FCT in the sense that you look at candidates who are actually pro-people, who are actually conscious, you know, of development. So if you must actually pick up from your own ethnic or tribal group, and that particular person happens not to be the right choice, you know, the right person for developmental drive, you can see that that will actually bring underdevelopment to that particular entity. So it is high time for us to look at the candidates, not ethnicity, not tribalism. Look at those who will actually bring development. If you look at the area councils, for example, you can see there is an uneven development, even though not necessarily engendered as a result of the ethnic politics, but even the FCT administration, you know, if you look at it, why is it so? There is the need to decentralize, you know, developmental projects, you know, of the FCT. Let Abaji, you know, get more of these particular institutions. Let some of these institutions go to Kwali. Let some of these go to Gwagwaleda Buhari. Because if you start coming from Zuba, for example, from Giri, from Nyanya, you see the nature of the holdup because everybody want to come to the center because these institutions are actually concentrated, highly concentrated in the center. So politically, administratively, it's good to decentralize the administrative structure of the FCT. Even some of the federal institutions and parastatals, because this is Abuja, some of them should go to these area councils for better administrative and to assuage difficulty of traffic, you know, and cost of administration and other things. So apart from this, the political parties, for example, if you look at the political historical development of the FCT, you consider that the ruling party comes to get a majority of chairmen, you know, within the area council. If you go back to the previous elections, you know, 2019, you discover that the ruling party, APC, won about 5 of the area council's elections. Only Gwagwaleda, which was won by Abga. So this is also engendered as a result of what I earlier made mention. You know, we want an indigent to be there, or non-indigent politics. Then another issue is the issue of security. Area council is to be very peaceful, but now due to the ambience of the security challenge, you know, bedeviling not only Nigeria, going back to the Sahel, you know, Middle East, and many more places, we are seeing a kind of an influx, you know, of the bad X, you know, terrorists, bandits into the FCT. So this is a challenge, which I'm very happy to hear about the security preparation and networking within the FCT in order to see a peaceful conduct of this particular elections. 22,000 policemen, 3,000 civil defense officers, and 9 sector reinforcement. This is a good thing.
Okay, still talking about security. Let's see what our correspondent who is attached to the FCT Police Command has to tell us about security this day. Aye, if you can hear me, it's over to you. What do you have for us?
As it is with other elections here in the FCT, the police is always on ground to ensure that everything moves smoothly. Likewise, it is with these elections. The police here at the FCT Police Command are set. Preparations are on top gear to move to the election sites and ensure safety and smooth flow.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. That's a brief from Aye at the FCT Police Command. Now let's talk to HOD, Voter Education and Publicity. For the first time, INEC, you know, has 7 resident electoral commissioner supervising this area council election. Why so much importance attached to this very election?
Well, all elections are important for us as a commission. All elections are important. Actually, when you look at the FCT, only 6 area councils, the equivalent of 6 local governments. You can say for us that should be a very small election. We are configured as a commission to conduct general elections, to handle 176,000 polling units at once. So we are now handling just a little above 2,000 polling units.
Yeah,
You can say it's like a lion, you know, descending on on a little squirrel. But to be serious, all elections are important to us. When we conduct elections anywhere, we normally deploy other resident electoral commissioners to assist the host resident electoral commissioner. It's our standard procedure. When we were in Anambra, we deployed 6 resident electoral commissioners from the 6 geopolitical zones to assist the host resident electoral commissioner. It's a standard practice for us because we work as a team. No matter where we are, we work as a team. Apart from the 6 resident electoral commissioners we brought from outside Abuja to help Alaji Ayabelo, who is the host rec. We also have 3 national commissioners from the headquarters, also deployed to the FCT to also oversee things. And of course, the chairman himself will be in the situation room, monitoring everything. And he will also move around. He will also go around to see things for himself. So we are operating as a unit, as a single force. So that's why you see 6 resident electoral commissioners coming from all parts of the country to come and assist the host electoral commissioner. We call it ANEC family. We help each other, you know, when we have elections anywhere.
Okay. We have Abdullahi Ajia from Kuje standing by to tell us what is happening in Kuje. The exercise is expected to start at 8:30 and our reporters are on ground to fill us in. So Abdullahi, if you can hear me, tell us, what do you have for us?
This is the D-Day of the election in Kuje Area Council, and where we are here is Angwingade Science Primary School with polling unit 001 and 002, considered to be one of the largest in Kuje polling units. And as far as this election is concerned, we have all that are supposed to be here on ground, and as early as 7 election materials have already arrived here, with security men providing security to all those that will be participating in the election process here. I must tell you also that the crowd here is something unprecedented. We have so much of enthusiastic voters who have come out as early as possible, even before everything is set up here, to exercise their franchise. Well, we'll be keeping you updated with more information as we keep to the time here to see what will be happening, whether the voting will commence as stated by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC.
Thank you very much, Abdullahi, for that update from Kuje. And we'll be expecting calls from our correspondent. I'm told Hawa is calling, but we just missed that call. But then let's go back to you. You know, from the reports by Abdullahi, we could see the turnouts of voters, quite impressive in Kuje. Quite impressive. So what do you have to say about that?
That's good. We actually expect high turnout.
Okay.
In the entire FCT.
Okay.
And historically, the places we've always had problems is Amak, where the elites live. We say Maitama, Asokoro, you know, Garuki, you know.
Okay.
Actually, that's where you see people not turning out. And we'll be talking, the media has been talking, that it's important to vote, even though you see it as a small election. No election is actually small. Yeah. Because the chairman, the councillors you will elect, will take decisions that will affect your life. Okay, so hold on.
I have a call from our correspondent in Buari Area Council. Okay, Hawa, good morning. Hello, Hawa. Hawa, you are live. Okay. Okay, we missed that. That's how you...
Yes, I was talking about the elitist behavior in Amak, especially the central areas where you have, where the elites live, where the bureaucratic people, the civil servants and the working class actually live.
Let's hear from Hawa now. Hello, Hawa, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, you are in Buari. How is Buari this morning? When did the exercise commence?
Yes, the exercise has not actually commenced in one of the polling units.
Which precisely, please?
Yes, Ibu Shere, one of the polling units. All registered members are all on ground, but the biometric machine is not working as we speak.
That is the Beavers.
Yes, it's not working as we speak. The presiding officer is looking into it, and I'm sure he will get solutions from the appropriate authority.
Thank you very much for that update.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Hawa.
Bye.
Okay.
I can assure you that the Beavers equipment will be fixed. Okay. It's no problem at all.
Okay.
Our men are there in Buari.
Okay.
You know, our men are everywhere.
Everywhere.
Our ICT technicians are everywhere.
Okay.
You know, so there won't be any problem. Okay. By the time you get another report from her, okay, the whole thing will be going on.
Hopefully. Now, Dr. Gali, let's still talk about the turnout of voters. What accounts, you know, as a political affairs analyst, what accounts for the turnout of voters in an election of this magnitude?
Because this is a grassroots political process. It is a grassroots election. And, you know, democracy starts from the grassroots. A kind of electorate, you know, voter education and electorate conscientization begins, you know, from the grassroots. And if you look at the campaign processes, the chairmanship candidate as well as the councillorship, candidates, they all try to venture into all nook and crannies, villages, streets, to making sure that they actually market themselves, to the people of this particular local areas. And some of them even entered house-to-house campaign, asking people to vote for them and why they should vote for them. This is one. Then secondly, there is also advanced media awareness creation, because INEC has been talking, on these particular elections. NTA, Radio Nigeria, and other media platforms, have been actually conscientizing the people, about the date of the elections, the candidates. And in fact, not only this, people have even come to understand the election statistics. People are aware that we have about 14 political parties,
Dr. Gary, let me have to cut you there. We have Abdullahi again live from Kuje. Okay, Abdullahi, please. Can you talk to us? What do you have for us again from Kuje? Okay, tell us what you have for us, Abdullahi from Kuje.
Okay, if you can hear me, yes, like I tell you, I've visited a couple of polling units within Kuje Central.
Okay. Abdullah seems to be freezing, but we have Aye live. Aye, if you can hear the studio, what do you have to tell us again from the police command? You are on, Aye, if you can hear me. Okay, we seem to be having an audio challenge with Aye. Deborah Micah is also ready to talk to us. Deborah is covering Kwali. Deborah, if you can hear me, tell us, what is the situation in Kwali this morning?
Okay, here in the Kwali Healthcare Center polling unit, voting has already commenced as at the time I'm talking to you now. The process is seamless. You can see the crowd, the impressive turnout of number of eligible voters here. But then there seems to be a challenge here in Kwali Healthcare polling unit. Kwali Healthcare polling unit center has about 2,319 voter, and there's quite impressive turnout of eligible voter. But then this Baba Adamu Madaji with me here, he was not able to vote. Maybe he should be able to tell us what exactly is wrong that he is not able to vote as at the moment.
The thing that they say I should not vote is they say I do sign voter's card. I get voter's card, and as they capture me, no go. That is why they say I should leave.
Okay, Ifoma, can you hear from the man, from Baba Adamu?
Deborah, can you explain to us what he said exactly? We couldn't hear him very well. Tell us what he said.
He said he has his voter's card with him, but not able to vote. They try to tell him that there's a problem with his top prints. There's a way the card reader could not detect his fingerprints to validate him and to be able to vote.
Okay, Deborah, please ask him. I thought we could use either the fingerprint or his face for the beavers deployed by INEC. He should be able to capture the face with the beavers. Did you ask him that?
Adamu, please, did they use your face? Did they try to use your face to capture you, for the beaver to capture it, for you to be able to vote? Were you able to use your face?
I want to use my face to capture me, because that vote myself, my mind is there. I've been Nigerian.
Okay. Mr. Adamu is saying that he's eager to vote, but for this challenge now, he's not able to vote. I think I'll be joining INEC AGOG staff here will be joining me to explain the situation.
Okay, let's hear.
You. Hello, ma. talk to me. This Baba, this Adamu that was not able to vote. Can you tell us what the problem was? Hello, Ifoma, they declined talking to me. In fact, they are getting busy, so they are not able to talk to me at the moment.
Okay, no problem, Deborah. We have the representative of INEC here in the studio. Hopefully, he will clear the air on that. Thank you very much, Deborah. Please, when next you come on to us, please tell us, what INEC is doing concerning the keeping to the COVID-19 protocols, use of face masks and all that, because I can see a massive turnout of voters, and some of them are not there with their face mask. Thank you very much, Deborah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, from Kwali, we'll head straight to Abdullahi Ajia. He's live in Kuje. Okay, Abdullahi, what's the updates?
Unit 003 here at the Kayarda Primary School in Kuje Central, the area. So, speak, the voting proper has not actually commenced, but there is a large turnout of voters who have come here to exercise their franchise. Well, I spoke with the electoral officers who are busy setting up, and they say in a short while they will commence the process. Now, talking about the COVID-19 protocol, earlier there was also a sensitization briefly from the election officials talking to the voters who are on the queue that they have to be with their face masks, as well as also maintain a level of distance from before they will be able to vote, which I think is compliance with what they have been sensitizing the public earlier before this election.
Okay, Abdullah, I want to ask, how many other polling centers have you visited before this one? Has the exercise commenced anywhere in Kuje at all?
Yes, for the number of I've visited, like this is the fourth polling center I've visited, and I must tell you that as at the last time I was at Sauka, they have not commenced properly because they are also just at the verge of starting. I rushed the Kayarda Primary School, where also it has not yet commenced. Earlier, I was at Science Primary School, Angongede, which I said earlier is one of the largest polling units in Kuje. And there, from the time I left, they had also not started, because as at the time we left there, it wasn't 8:30 per se. But here, the situation is that people are patiently waiting to be part of this process.
Thank you very much, Abdullah. I would want you to look out, the turnout of women, because INEC told us that women are beginning to be more interested in politics as their male counterparts. I would want you to look out for that in Kuje Area Council. And you know how peculiar Kuje is today in this very election. Thank you so much, Abdullahi.
Thank you, Ifoma.
Okay. Now, I have to come to you. We seem to be having late commencement of this exercise.
Well, I won't really describe it as late. The important thing is our officials are there. They have either set up or they're still setting up. The people are there. And all you need to have a good election is to have the people there, that's the voters there, the officials there, and the equipment and all the materials with them. Things will go on well. All will be well.
Talking about the
man.
Now,
okay.
the beavers.
I thought we were talking about the man who couldn't vote.
Yes, and the beavers, because we were assured that if you can't thumbprint, then there's this facial recognition.
No, what the beavers is about is that the beavers has the capacity to either check your fingerprint, and if your fingerprint does not match, to check your facials. If you come as a voter and we check your fingerprint and it's okay, you don't need to go to the next step of checking facial. It's only when your fingerprint is not matching that we'll go and check the second one. If we check the second one and still does not match, it means the card is not your own.
Okay.
It's simple as that.
We'll come back to that. You have to explain that to us. Now we have Ekene Ndulwe. He's in Amak. Amak has the highest registered voters for this election. Ekene Ndulwe, what do you have for us? Where are you precisely in Amak, and what do you have for us?
Okay, thank you. From right now, I'm in polling unit 020 at area 11, the municipal area. And the INEC officials are still setting up to commence, but people are here lined up and already checking their names on the where they are pasted. The security agencies are also here on standby. Observers are here on standby. Everything looks set to go, but the voting is yet to commence, and the people are waiting eagerly.
Okay, I know the electoral officers or the officers at that unit are trying to set up. Ekene, what can you tell us about maintaining social distance and other COVID-19 protocols there?
People that came out to vote this morning, and they are eagerly waiting. Looking at the number of people out here, the protocol might not be actually necessary because there are just a few people that came out. I don't know if it's because it's too early. Maybe some more people will still come out later in the day. But looking at the situation here, just about few people in the area. Okay, I'd like to speak to one of the voters.
Okay.
I'm Comrade Amodi Hijika. Okay, yeah. You are set to cast your vote? Certainly, that's my responsibility, civic responsibility. That's why I'm here. Okay, so what would be your expectation? My expectation, like, because what I'm seeing with the way it's been announced, many people that we advertise, it seems with what we are hoping for. Within the INEC, they can stand by their words. We finish well, moving trying to know that really they are going to be fair election. That if there's something like that, and we see because of why you see like I hear you telling the people that many people are not because of what they are formally people are afraid that the voter time doesn't account. But now we are hoping with the awareness of people, we are praying that people will come out as soon as the voting starts. Some people have been peeping and going out, but we know that by God's grace, we should have that turnout. And moreover, before, these people have normally have many, but now we are going to really open many other areas, polling units, and that's why some people are thinking. Otherwise, here we are larger than the people who used to be here before. Okay, from what you heard from Comrade Ejurika, there are so many polling units around here, so we are not expecting much people. So the protocols might not actually be necessary because they are not expecting a crowd here.
Okay.
That's the situation for now.
Thank you very much, Ekene. Please keep us updated as the events unfold. You want to comment?
No, I think at this point, I need to remind voters in the FCT that no one should go to any polling unit with another person's voting card, voter's card.
Okay.
The BVAS equipment is configured and designed and produced to prevent any form of voter impersonation. If that card is not your own, you will not be able to use it and you will not be able to vote. It will not be good to start complaining, on television that you were not able to vote when actually the card does not belong to you. So we are appealing to all voters that no one should go to the polling units with cards that do not belong to them. Because the BVAS equipment will catch them and they will not be able to vote.
Okay. Now, Dr. Professor Gali, going by all the reports we have seen so far, is this what you were expecting?
Well, you see, there is a line of demarcation between having the highest number of registered voters as well as turning out, when it is time for the elections. 1.4 million, covering the FCT in terms of registered voters. You can see, as the director, said, that he made mention of the turnout, the massive turnout. But if you critically look at it, you understand that people in Kwali, Gwagwalada, they are turning out more than, you know, those in the FCT, you know, due to the elitist structuration of the center. So, but apart from this, INEC has actually done wonderfully, you know, even from the Anambra elections as well as level of preparation, you know, the organizational structure, you know, of the electioneering process. One thing that is sure and certain is that we must always try to reach perfection. Otherwise, you see the massive turnout in these particular areas. And these areas are not even the most remotest areas. You know, they are within the, you know, township, you know, of Gwagwalada, Kwali. So such delay, and INEC had provided adequate transportation system, motorcycles to get into the remote areas, and even boats, you know, to get into the riverine areas. You know, so why the delay, you know, and people have already queued up. So these are some of the areas that INEC must continue to look into. We are not completely perfect, and I commend INEC, you know, with its own commitment. Then another issue you asked earlier is the issue of the precipitating factors, you know, leading to people massive turnout, you know, avoiding voter apathy. You know, there is a kind of drastic struggle, party struggle in this particular election. You know, the PDP want to actually see it as a testing ground, you know, for 2023. The APC, the same thing, and all other political parties. So the two major political parties have been carrying out massive campaign, you know, strategy in order to see people come out, you know, to actually cast their vote, you know, in their own favor, in their own support. Then apart from this, we also have a kind of, we've had court, litigations, you know, processes, especially in Abaji and Amak itself. But one surprising thing is even within a political party, which is the ruling party, which is the APC. So due to this, you know, having suffered from all these particular court processes, you know, the candidates who emerge now want to really compete with the opposition party. So that is why they try to campaign, you know, strongly to make sure that their own people come out to vote. Then another issue is also this issue I made mention of tribalism. This tribe doesn't want dominance, so they want to come out. This other tribe, you know, especially in Gwagwalada, you have a candidate of the APC, candidate of the PDP who do not come from the same tribal group. So there is this particular massive or strong sense of competition in terms of tribal line. Looking at the AMAC, you know, so this issue of party competition, you know, is making the political parties to carry out massive mobilization of the electorate in order for them to actually turn out. Then another issue is the issue of security. You know, people are seeing a significant level of securitization, and that is why they are actually coming out, because people must feel safe before they actually commit to political, engagement. So they have seen the level of security deployment and the 9-sector enforcement, you know, done by the FCT command is actually to ensure that...
Dr. Gali, let me cut you here. Okay. We have Mariam standing by. She's also covering the Abuja Municipal Area Council. Mariam Jitubo, what do you have for us, and where are you exactly at this moment? Okay, Mariam, if you can hear the studio, where are you? Now, what is happening?
I'm here at polling unit 001 in Karushi area of the Abuja Municipal Area Council. Voting, or rather accreditation, has started in N. I'm here at the Municipal Area Council. Voting has started in earnest as people are here eager to exercise their franchise. We'll bring you more when accreditation starts.
Maria, we can't really hear you very well. Please, we would like to come back to you when the network is a bit clearer. But you are in Karshi, and it's a very important area in this election. We have a candidate in Karshi, and what do you have to say about the turnout in Karshi?
I think that's impressive. Karachi is a highly populated area. And so we actually expect high turnout there. And so we're not disappointed at all.
All right. You know, INEC, you know, was widely commended for the election conducted in Anambra State. So how have you, you know, up your game to beat that election here in the FCT?
What we have, they work effectively. And anywhere there's any glitch, we had from one location now, there was a glitch. And anywhere there's any glitch at all, we respond immediately and tackle it. The important thing is for people to be able to vote easily. You see the way they are turning out. So we don't want to disappoint them at all. So we have enough equipment, we have people trained, we have enough engineers moving up and down, you know, parading the whole FCT, and we believe everything will be all right.
All right,
so we are just monitoring.
We have a correspondent at the FCT INEC office. You just as you are prepared, we are also prepared. Now, tell us, Aisha, what is happening at the FCT INEC office at the moment?
We are here at FCT INEC office, Area 10, Garki, Abuja. The electoral umpire in charge of the FCT Area Council's election holding today, the 12th of February 2022. We gather that since 6 a.m., the resident electoral commissioner and his men have been at the premises to monitor and supervise events and activities, and also address issues and report that might be coming from the area councils, because in there is their support center, which serves as a situation room. It is also worthy to note that the FCT is the only place that INEC has the right to conduct election due to its status. In other states, the area council and local government election is being conducted by the SEC, State Independent Electoral Commission.
Thank you very much, Aisha, for that update. So we hear that it is only in the FCT that INEC has...
The Constitution gives us that mandate to conduct the area council elections in the FCT. The area council, we know in FCT we call local government councils, area councils. It's just like local government elections. In the state, they are conducted by state independent electoral commissions. So this is the only place where we conduct local government elections. And that's why, you know, we are sort of amused. But we are okay with it. We are happy about it.
Okay. Now, Professor Gali, with what he just said, can you underscore the significance, you know, of local government administration in Nigeria vis-a-vis its constitutional mandates?
You say the local government, you know, constitutionally established as the third tier of government. Enjoys some certain rights and privileges, you know, having to exercise its own constitutional right of passing bylaws, you know, which if you go to the state, we have a state legislature, as well as the National Assembly, where you have the bicameral legislative process, the Senate, as well as the House of Representatives. So if you go down again to the local government, democratic and political viability is the ability of an instituted authority to be able to generate funds. And the local government, you know, has this particular mandate to actually generate funds, you know, at the local level. Then apart from this, there is also a special allocation from the federal government to the state government, which the local government have their own share. So apart from this, in terms of democracy, as we earlier said, democracy is best practice starting from the grassroots, because grassroots politicians are the best politicians because they grow up to reach to the state level, and progressively they reach to the national level. So such politicians who have had a kind of a grassroots experience, they turn out to be the best politicians in an entity, because the grassroots democracy is the best kind of democracy to be practiced, because there is a kind of practical engagement with the local people. So this is why the local government elections, democracy is significant to the survival of an entity.
Okay. I'm told that Ekene is on standby again to tell us, you know, the latest. Ekene, if you can hear the studio, tell us where are you, or if you are still at Area 11 polling units, as you know, the exercise commenced. to any of the officials there or the residents or electorates who are there to vote. Let them tell us more, you know, about their expectations.
My name is John. People are checking with the beavers machine already. If you can look behind me. INEC is okay to go, and the beavers machine in this particular unit is functioning very well. That's the situation for now.
Thank you very much, Ekene. We would hope that you visit other polling units now to give us an update from other polling units. While that report was going in, Professor Gali, you know, the public political affairs analyst, Department of Political Science and International Relations, University of Abuja, had to step out. He took a break, and of course, the Deputy Commissioner of Police Operations, DCP Benneth Igwe, walked in. It's good to have you on set, DCP.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, now before we go talk to you, I would want to talk to the Head of Voter Education and Publicity, INEC, Victor Aluko. What do you have to say, you know, from the reports that we just heard from Ekene? The exercise has started.
Yes, I think we are happy with the level of things now.
Okay.
The last man said INEC was okay, ready to go.
Okay.
And that's really good coming from the field.
Okay.
And everywhere, I think everything will be okay, or everything's already okay.
Okay.
And anywhere we have any issues, we'll solve the problems. At this point, we are encouraging all voters who are yet to leave their houses to take that important democratic decision. Okay. Take your PVC and go to the polling units and vote.
Okay.
Polling units in your neighborhood, we have decentralized the whole thing. There are many polling units around.
Okay.
There won't be too much crowding anywhere.
Okay.
And anywhere you see crowd, once voting is on, the crowds will soon disappear. Okay. And so maybe some people are still waiting to allow the crowd to disappear before they go and vote. The important thing is before 2:30, get to the polling unit in your neighborhood. Okay. Exercise your franchise. Okay. Vote for chairman, vote for councillors, and let's have a good time today.
All right. Our correspondent in Gwagwalada, Onoze Yakubu, is standing by. Shuaibu, how is Gwagwalada this morning?
Yes, thank you very much, Informa. Gwagwalada this morning is peaceful. Right now, I'm in Dagiri, one of the polling units in Central Ward. This polling unit have 6 in this same.
Okay, Shuaibu, we seem to be having freezing pictures there. Shuaibu, if you can hear me, we can't hear you very well. We'll hope to come back to you when we get the network right, please. Thank you very much, Shuaibu.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's talk to DCP. Sir, yesterday, at about 6 p.m., we had a breaking news that the police is relaxing the restriction. By this morning, it is still in place. What happened?
No, what happened is that I don't know we didn't relax anything. I think some people believe some of this side press, but it's
okay.
What we finally have now is restriction from 8 a.m. this morning to 3 o'clock. And that's what we are out, that's what we have been enforcing.
Okay.
And people are saying that they're confused, that is this, that. But we are sorting it out.
Okay.
We are sorting it out.
I believe you've gone round.
Yes,
so what did you see?
You can see there is security everywhere.
Okay.
Even the remotest polling booth. There are security men like we assured. And everything is moving normal.
Okay.
Just like the INEC man said. And it's good.
Okay.
It's equally helping the security. What it has done now is it has made us to post more people to different areas more. It made us to create more jobs. But we are equal to the task.
Okay.
So, area is calm for now. There is no any issue anywhere, any place.
Okay. As of yesterday, there was no security threats.
No.
Okay.
There was none up to now. And there will be none.
Okay, let's talk to the Director of Voter Education and Publicity. We're still talking about the beavers. We would want to know, just before you go, we want you to educate us more, on these beavers. So how does it transmit? Okay.
What we said and what we've done before, we said, presiding officer completes, sorting out, after voting, presiding officer sorts out and is able to count the votes and is able to do the recording on his from his CAT. That he will snap that result with the beavers equipment. That equipment you are seeing is a multi-purpose equipment. Apart from using it to accredit voters, also we're able to use it to, it has a big camera to snap the result sheet and then to project that result to what we call INEC result viewing portal. Okay. There is an INEC result viewing portal. It's a technical thing.
Okay.
Political parties, candidates, security officials, and even individuals who are interested, once you have that link from INEC, once you collect the link from INEC, you can monitor, you can receive the results. You can monitor the results from that portal. Once you access that portal, you see the results coming in, and you see it real time.
Okay.
And then
I am here at polling unit 001 Ward A in Karshi area of the Abuja Municipal Area Council. Voting has started in earnest, and the chairmanship candidate under the APC is here to exercise his franchise. We have a total of 1,820 eligible voters waiting eagerly to also exercise their franchise. That's the much I have for you for now. I'll keep you updated as events unfold.
Please do that, Mariam. Thank you very much. And the INEC representative, that is the Director of Voter Education and Publicity, Mr. Victor Aluko, would want to be leaving. But before you go, please just tell us, what assurances are you giving to the residents?
Yeah, we are assuring the residents that it will be a good day. The elections will be successful.
And safeguard lives and property. We'll keep you updated as events unfold here from the FCT INEC office, Area 10. It's back to you in the studio.
Thank you very much, Aisha, for that update. And clearly, we can see visible policing around INEC office. That is very important, DCP. What more do you have to tell, residents in terms of security here in the FCT?
As you are in FCT, come out and vote. You are secured.
Okay.
Our men are everywhere, and the security is fully assured. Come out and exercise your franchise. Come out.
Okay.
We are ready for any eventuality. We are not afraid of anything or anybody. That's why we are telling people that's our duty, and we are ready to protect them, including the INEC facilities, both sensitive and non-sensitive materials, and the presiding officers, even the observers. We are ready, and we are doing that. They're everywhere.
Okay.
Just like when the person from Abaji was talking, I came in from Abaji.
Abaji, this morning.
Yes.
Oh, that's good to know. And we are still going back to Abaji. Our correspondent in Abaji, Onotu, has an update for us. Onotu, it's over to you, please.
Yes, presently I am now at Abaji Southeast, polling units that are presently 003, as well as polling unit 007 and 008 in Abaji Southeast. One thing that is very striking about the number of polling units, out of the three polling, which is polling units, 003 is hosting 1,575 voters. As you can see, the crowd is a mammoth one. People patiently waiting to cast their ballot. There is also just across the other side of the divide, you see where there is a canopy, and that's the canopy for polling unit 007, which has just the minute number of 12 voters registered to the polling unit, while just across the road from me here, you also have polling unit 008 with just 29. But even at that, with the crowd that is associated with the polling unit 003, the people are just patiently waiting to exercise their franchise. As at the time we arrived, they initially had a challenge with their beavers. And a lot of the people were here patiently waiting to be accredited so that they can exercise their franchise. But unfortunately, the beavers seem to be having challenge with the polling unit with the highest, the large number of voters. But eventually, an INEC engineer came in and of course, did the magic, and the beavers started responding to their accreditation process. So for now, the place calm, the security operatives just from across the other side of the road to the wall there, you see them standing, all the...
In the studio now, international political analyst and a constitutional lawyer. He's Nasara Kogo. He's a friend of the house. It's good to have you, sir.
It's my honor to always contribute in nation building.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's kick off with you. You've been monitoring the situation. So far, so good.
Yes.
What do you have to say so far about the electoral process?
Yes. Well, first of all, this election is very critical It's very critical because it is coming at a time when practically it is like a rehearsal for 2023 elections in so many respects. First of all, it is probably going to be, if His Excellency the President eventually signs the Electoral Act, it will be the last election we will witness before the emergence of the new electoral policies. Secondly, FCT is a dynamic place. Constitutionally speaking, it is in between and a ministry. When you take the constitutional provision, especially Section 6 of the INEC Act and Sections 221 to 227 of the 1999 Constitution, it is normally treated like a state. And when you go by the number of the area councils, 6 area councils, I think Bayelsa State is the least in terms of the number with 8 area councils. And then when you go by the geographical spread, the cosmopolitan nature of FCT itself represents it as a mini Nigeria. And apart from that, when you look at the dynamics that happened before today, especially the contestation by the giant political parties, in all respects it is a reflection of the general political culture in the country, and it is a reflection of what we look to expect in the coming distance. So if you want to see a mirror of reflection of Nigeria's political dynamics, whether currently or in the incoming future, then look at what is happening in the FCT. I must commend the security apparatus in trying to do it as of today up to now. It is an excellent arrangement. I didn't hear of any hitch whatsoever in any quarter. Even threat, there is no threat, talk less of any hitch. So I must commend the security apparatus, and they have no option really than to really be up and doing, owing to the fact that it is not just the FCT you look at, but it is the seat of the government of the Federation, and it is the headquarters of all the state capitals in the country. So definitely we expect nothing less than that. And then when you look at the interest it has generated, there are so many upheavals within the parties. If you look at the caliber, the number, and the quality of the representatives of the 2 major political parties, comprising ministers, comprising governors, comprising former senators, comprising present serving senators. If you look at such this thing that each of the 2 political parties assembled as their own representatives to put eye in the council's election, really you must see it that it is a giant political activity the nation is witnessing today.
Let me cut you there now. We have Mariam in Amak,
yes,
you know, on the voting process. Mariam, it's over to you. Tell us.
If you know it's not than
testing ground to see as to what we will likely eventually see. But when you take APC, for example, the internal contradictions talking about the warlords or the stakeholders, talking about Adamu Candido, the incumbent chairman, talking about Alassane Gwagwa, for example, talking about these 2 people, difficulty for them to come and have harmony, as a result of which so many problems ended up in the courtrooms, even though at the die minute of about 24 hours back, there was amicable resolution of the matter through consensus or whatever. But definitely speaking, looking at it, it appears that the PDP has been campaigning seriously on that level, while APC did not even end up to have a standard flag bearer because of internal contradictions until just about 24 hours ago. So I don't know the type of campaigns, horse trading, you know, and other things that will have taken place within the one day to enable them really wrestle the PDP down. And then talking about also the Kwale Area Council, which up to now, the APC is still in the limbo of having problems within the number of the candidates there. Okay. They said that they will eventually resolve it after the election. I do not know whether inability to have a standard bearer will be able to really give a party victory if your party contests without a standard candidate.
All right, let's see what Aisha will get back to you on that. What Aisha has for us now. Aisha, tell us what is happening where you are.
We are right here at the FCT INEC office, precisely Electoral Operation Support Center, which was set up yesterday by INEC to monitor events across the 6 areas. And with me here is the state coordinator. He will tell us what's happening right now.
Name is Ayon I'm the state coordinator.
Okay, Aisha, I must cut you at this point. We seem to be having, poor audio from you. Try to get your gadgets right and come back to the studio. Thank you very much. Okay, DCP, let's talk to you. The Nasara Kogo just commended, the security agencies for all that you have put in place. But you know that elections in Nigeria before now, are usually characterized by a lot of problems. So far, we have not witnessed any form of ballot snatching. Would you want to say that those things are things of the past?
What is really happening is that what the security system we put in place, they cannot give room for ballots to be snatched. That is what we have done. And if all the correspondence that are showing, you can see security men everywhere. Who have done that?
Okay.
It's a challenge to us. And that is why we have taken the bull by the horn.
Okay.
So, and I told you earlier that we are going to get it right.
Yes.
We all are destined to get it right.
Okay.
Every security agency. So we are trying to get it right.
Okay. Now, in case, there's any group or individual anywhere trying to foment any trouble, you have this platform. What will happen to such people?
I have already told them now that we want peace, absolute peace in this election, but we are ready for war. Any person that tries to bring war will respond very quickly.
Okay.
Without fear or favor, decisively.
Okay, I hope we won't get to that. Let's get back to Nasara Kogo. Now, the FCT is a very interesting place. You really can't predict the voting pattern of the people. Now, as you said earlier, PDP, it's is in controlling the Buhari and Kuje administration. We'll get back to that. I've just told that there's another report online. Okay, let's have the report now, please.
This Saturday's area council election in the FCT is the first election after the recently held Anambra State governorship poll, which Situation Room observed was mostly adjudged peaceful by several observers and stakeholders.
Situation Room, having participated in the several discussions held by INEC, following the conclusion of the Anambra State governorship election, is hoping that the Commission will follow through on its commitment to enhancing its processes and the systems for the election, particularly the bimodal voting accreditation systems, BVAS.
Center for Transparency Advocacy is another election observer group. It believes that the outcome of the FCT area council election will be a pointer to the forthcoming Ekiti and Osun governorship elections and ultimately the 2023 general election.
CTA wishes to remind INEC that the FCT election should be taken seriously, just like any other election, because its failure or success counts towards the credibility of the election management body.
Both Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room and the Center for Transparency Advocacy enjoin citizens to discharge their franchise devoid of rancor and acrimony. Timothy Yusuf.
Thank you very much, Timothy Yusuf, for that report. And from that report, we could hear, stakeholders saying that this FCT election must set the pace for the forthcoming other off-cycle elections this year. Would you want to agree with that, DCP?
That's what we are saying. That's what we have said, that we want to get it right. As INEC is bringing its beaver system to improve on the original card leader, we are equally moving. I told you earlier that this is the first election we have decided to deploy since Friday. We deployed since yesterday to the polling units, and today they are there. They will be there up to the result is called. So we want to ensure not only security of personnel, the security of every material used in the election. So that is what we are doing. As we are improving on daily basis, we have learned the deployment of a day before now, and we have implemented it, and we can see its success. Okay. So as we are moving now, that's what we are going to be using, inshallah. Maybe in the next election in Okiti and Dosho, we will only use it to see what we can do to improve and get ready for 2023. All
right. Just as INEC, has set up a situation room, our correspondent at the police command also tells us that the police have held situation room. Correct. Let's hear what IA has to say from the situation room at the FCT Police Command. IA, it's over to you.
This is the Joint Operations Control Center at the FCT Police Command, where interagency collaboration takes place. Here, preparations are on top gear to move into action.
Thank you very much, Aye. That is the situation room from the FCT Police Command. Abdullahi Ajia in Kuje is on standby. Abdullahi, tell us what you have from where you are in Kuje. Okay, I think Abdullahi, we have an issue connecting with Abdullahi, but we'll get it right and get back to Abdullahi. Now, your situation room, please, tell us more about it.
Yeah, the situation room is for every security agency. We have joint ops room. From there, our people, everybody is in the field. Okay. So if an issue comes and is for civil defense, the civil defense man there will clarify and will give instructions. Okay. If it is from army, the officers you see will activate and give instruction. If it's from police, the police you see there will activate and give instruction. So the joint operation room is for every security agency, including the DSS, you can see them there, and all of us are there. So they are there. Their duty is to inform us in the field what our people called them, to inform them that is happening.
Okay, Abdullahi is back. Now, Abdullahi, can we hear from you now?
I have moved away from the Kuje Central Ward. I am now in Biri, Pasali 032 polling unit, where everything seems to be going according to plan here, because the voting process has commenced since around 9 we learned. Well, I am also towards
okay,
yes, like I said,
Abdullahi, we will get back to you when we solve that problem. Let's get back to Minister Akugo. Before all that, we were talking about the voting pattern here in the FCT. What are the issues, that will shape the choice of voters in an FCT area council election?
Well, first of all, I will commend the political parties for respecting the Electoral Act Section 99 by stopping all political activities 24 hours before election. And then When you look at it, so many factors are coming into play. First of all, from the reports we have received, you must have observed the elitist syndrome. In other words, from the other councils outside the FCT. In other words, outside the, what do you call it, AMAC. You see the tumultuous turnout. That is simply because outside the distance, you will see tumultuous number of people coming out. And then another thing that will assist, that will determine the distance is the caution and the warning security agencies have given that they are not prepared to tolerate any breach of peace within the election period. And that is in tandem with the mandates given to them by sections 214 to 216, especially for the police, and 217 to 219 of the Constitution for other law enforcement agencies. And then, as much as possible, INEC has succeeded in going about sensitizing the people about the importance of this election, which is, like I said, the rehearsal to 2023 election. Then there are some other very traditional implements politicians are using in campaigning. One of it is using ethnic and tribal sentiments. In FCT, it has been a dominant factor. You talk about the issue of the indigenes. The indigenes have constituted themselves. There is a particular political party that is synonymous with the interests of the indigenes. I don't want to go into mentioning any party.
I'll come back to you. I hear Aisha is the INEC situation room. She seems to be ready now. Aisha, if you can hear the studio, you were talking to somebody before. What is happening at the situation room of INEC FCT? You're on, Aisha, if you can hear the studio. Aisha, you are on. Okay. All right, we'll get back to Aisha. Okay, please, can you
yes.
Go on?
So, talking about the indigene and the settlers, there's this issue of land ownership. It's one of the instruments that is being used, this issue of land swap that the government is talking about is one of the instruments being done. Another instrument the politicians are using is the instrument of service delivery. Service delivery. If you take Section 7 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, it chronicles about 12 articles there that are the responsibilities of the area council, which some of the candidates are now using them as instruments of campaign.
Let's talk to Shuaibu in Gwagwalada area council. Shuaibu, you are on. If you can hear us, what's the latest from Gwagwalada?
Yeah. Hello.
You are on, Shuaibu.
Hello, Ifoma.
Yes, Shuaibu, I can hear you. You're live.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yes.
What is the latest? In Gwagwalada.
This is polling unit 005 in Dagiri, Gwagwalada Central Ward, here in Gwagwalada Area Council. In this polling unit, we have behind me, you can see mammoth crowd queue in one of the voting points 1. You can see mammoth crowd, eligible voters are queued to exercise their civic responsibility. The other voting points, you can see empty eligible voters, no eligible voters. The electoral officers are sitting idle, doing nothing for now. But the situation here, all the beavers are responding. Eligible voters are coming in from the outside the premises of the voting center to exercise their voting rights. Here in this voting unit, over 1,500 eligible voters that are supposed to cast their ballots here. But most of the voting points, except one, have less than 20 registered voters. Only one of these units that have more than 1,000 registered.
Okay. think we lost Shwaibudia. We really want to know why we have so much the electorate at one point and very few at the other. I saw Abdullahi Ajia in Kuje. I don't know if he's ready, if we can have Abdullahi now.
Okay, Ifoma, yes, this is personally 031 and 032, and the process here has since commenced in earnest at 9 we learnt, and the queue is still very long here, and the process, according to some of the people we've spoken to, is still slow. But I still have one of the voters here to share his experience with us so far being on the queue.
My name is Adam Momo Weje Musa. I'm from Pasali. This is my voting center. Okay. We have been here since for more than an hour, or almost an hour.
So, what has been the experience? What are the officials telling you?
The official has never told us anything for the moment, but the line is not moving. One will be complaining that the top three working whatever don't understand. This top three, they have been using it for long 5 times ago. But today we are surprising that they are complaining about the complete.
Okay, if you can hear me, this is Jones of one of the voters here. I had somebody who was ready to talk to us, but he had taken his leave. But what he said is that he has been able to
okay, thank you very much, Abdullahi, for that update. We'll get back to you. And of course, the Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of operations, DCP Bennett Igwe, should be on the field. He just told me that. But before we let him go, once again, talk to residents. What assurances are you giving us?
Residents of FCT, come out and cast your vote. Come out and perform your civic responsibility. Be rest assured that your security is in place and there is nothing to worry about. No fear at all. Express yourself. And nothing will happen in FCT by the grace of God since yesterday to today to tomorrow. We are ready for any eventuality in case any arises until it rears its head.
Okay, thank you very much, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Operations DCP Bennett Igwe. It's a pleasure having you here on set.
Thank you.
I don't know if we have any reports lined up so that we'll allow the DCP to take his leave. He really must go now. Okay, let's go back to Nasara Kogo.
Yes.
How can you assess, the progress of local government in Nigeria?
Yes, it's one of those things that brings about apathy, especially the inability of us to really allow local government system to function. At the FCT, I must commend the successive administrations for allowing the existence of local government as bona fide tiers of government as provided by Section 7 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But at the level of the states, the general atmosphere of emasculation of the local government system under the joint account system, these joint account operations they are doing, is seriously posing a very serious danger to the issue of autonomy of the local government. And the Supreme Court just yesterday declared that the Executive Order 10 by the President as going beyond the constitutional bounds, that the President was wrongly advised in that context. Local government, when you take Section 7 of the Constitution, has some clearly itemized unadulterable responsibilities. Number one, the local government is the one in charge of the custody of birth and death. In other words, register of birth and death. It is the responsibility of the local government as a tier of government. Number two, local government has the responsibility of internal local revenue generation, especially revenue generation that has to do with what do you call it? administration of markets, administration of motor parks, administration of cattle ranches, administration of vaccination activities. Primary health care is under the local government responsibility. Street naming is under the local government responsibility. Apart from that, it is local government is the one that is in charge of burial premises. In other words, what do you call it? Cemeteries. Local government is the one in charge of local administration of lands. Local government is the one in charge of management of customs, tradition, and other things that are at the local level. In other words, management of local squabbles within the area. The local government is the one that is the bridge between the state government and the citizenry. Anything that is coming to the citizenry must come through the instrumentality of the local government structure that is there. And then local government has a very good administrative setup in such a way that you have the executive, which is the chairman himself and supervisory councillors. And then you have the legislature, whereby you have the councillors. The councillors are having majority leader, chief whip, and the speaker of the district. Then whether they are doing it to the optimum expectation of the constitutional mandate is another thing. But the provision is already there. And local governments are supposed to be the ones that will deliberate and find out the real needs, demands, and the aspirations of the grassroots people, so that it will germinate into what they will bring out as the budget. In the FCT, for example, they have been preparing the budgets and ultimately bringing up to the budgets to the FCT, which will be integrated and normally submitted to the National Assembly as a budget of the National Assembly. Remember, FCT, like I said, doesn't have state legislature. It is the National Assembly that is serving as the state legislature in terms of making budgetary approvals, in terms of approvals for so many projects, in terms of so many things that the minister who is dualizing as a minister and in court de facto governor is going to dispense. So local government is very, very important when you look at it. It is equally the neglect of the local government system that breeds insecurity. This insecurity we are having in different parts of, especially the northwestern states. All those states that have, the governors have refused to allow the existence of local government system, the existence of optimum operations of local government system. You see that the effect of that gap that they have created, which means the citizenry, even if they have complaints to make regarding security breach or inadequacy of resources or inadequacy of government attention on anything whatsoever, you will find out that they are finding it very difficult because of the wide gap to reach His Excellency the Governor to inform him. So miscreants will now fill up that vacuum, and that is why you have humongous insecurity challenges. And even if you take, for example, the issue of health concern, at the level of the local government council, they are the ones in charge of primary health care. Now, when you now emasculate and virtually kill local government system, there is difficulty for you to implement international protocols regarding COVID-19, regarding all those regarding the issue of birth control, regarding the issues of so many things that are germane to not only the current emerging challenges in the world, but the United Nations Development Goals, Sustainable Development Goals, and other things that we are still battling with. And incidence of poverty too is another thing. By the time you now take away the local government system, then all those number of families that are dependent on the paltry money they are getting from the local government, whether in form of contracts or whether in form of employments, and there are so many of them that are short of that are now aboard for cattle, for all sorts of animals, for grasses and the rest. So at the level of the FCT, where you see no so much low turnout of voters today, it is a reflection of the inability of the governmental machinery to integrate the government, the people in the nation.
We'll get back to
it's all right.
Okay. Yes, as our reporters are covering various polling units, we also have some other reporters, giving us situation reports on other things happening in town. And Odiri Arutera is somewhere in Gwarimpa for a situation report. Odiri, it's over to you.
Movement here in Gwarimpa is like a normal thing. No adherence to the restriction of movement here in Gwarimpa. Behind me is Gwarimpa Market. Commercial activity is ongoing like every other day here in Gwarimpa Market. This is the situation right now in the city center on election morning. We'll keep you posted as we move around the city.
Thank you, Thierry, for that update. Despite the restrictions, business as usual in Gwarimpa. Unfortunately, the DCP has just left us. He'll probably comment on that. But still with me is Dr. Nasara Kogo, and you were talking to us earlier.
Yes. So, and then the politicians have no choice because Section 111 of the Electoral Act says that you cannot just win by getting the chunk of votes from one district. You win by having majority, but in addition to majority, you must have at least 1/4 of the votes casted in 3/4 of the wards under the local government district before you can emerge as the winner. So you can see the challenges. It is not an election that once you have the majority of the votes, you then declare yourself a winner. No, you must have this in simple majority. That is number one. Apart from simple majority, they will have to get the totality of the integrated votes from various wards that makes up your local government council to now determine you having at least 2/3. I mean 1/4. That is the minimum in 2/3 of the number of the wards. So it's a very serious this, and that is the reason why the politicians decided to go to the hinterland and campaign to the citizenry. So many talking to them about they will try as much as possible to bring democracy deliverables, democracy dividends to the doorsteps of the common man. If you look at FCT, especially removing the AMAC, for example, they are a reflection of the country's disillusionment. There is a reflection of the country's poverty. There is a reflection of the country's squalor living, illiteracy, lack of medical facilities, lack of whatever you can think of. So the only hope for the common man is for them to have credible and competent local government administrators that will come and use the instrumentality of the local government system to bridge off those inadequacies that they are experiencing at their particular locality. So it is very, very important for us to have local government system in this, because when you take our governmental policies generally, it is expected that from the federal to the state, it will cascade down to the local government level if you are to have wholesome development really engineered in the country. There is one office that is very, very critical.
Let's take another report from Ekene Ndului. He's somewhere in Amak. Ekene, it's over to you, please. Okay, thank you very much, Ekene. Garki village is a very important polling unit. We have the Sapeyi of Garki there. Tell us what's the situation, security situation there? What's it like?
Eventually they will cast their ballots. Before now, we were at another polling unit in this same Garki village, the one right opposite the Emir's house. The turnout there was huge and massive. People are coming out in their numbers to cast their ballots. Unlike what we saw in the morning, I think the situation is picking up gradually.
Okay, how far so far? I've seen some electorates with their face masks. How are they keeping to ensuring that people maintain reasonable distance? I'm not seeing such and other COVID-19 protocols, please, Ekene.
Okay, from what you have observed, the various polling units you've been to today, there are no protocols whatsoever with regards to keeping the distance and other COVID-19 protocols. People are just miling around, standing in the queues. There's no protocol from what we have seen. I don't think there is any health official here or that the security agencies are concerned about maintaining that protocol.
Okay, well, I appreciate it if you would try to find out from the INEC officials why the beavers is not working as it should. Thank you so very much, Ekene. Minister Kogo, now that is Garki ward or Garki village. What do you have to say? Massive turnout of voters.
That is even my own word. And,
okay, interesting.
You know, Garki has been the political melting point of Abuja politics.
Okay.
Garki has been the thermometer that determines the temperature level of politics in the FCT, owing by the fact that most of the political juggernauts, you understand it, especially the ones that are at the level of House of Representatives, Senate, and the rest, they emerge from Garki. And it is Garki that settles the problem that was being experienced within the APC circle of difficulty of producing a candidate. The incumbent chairman has his own favorite who has not gotten it. And then the political godfather of the FCT, Amak politics, Alassane Gwagwa, too, he didn't get his candidate. It is at Garki about 48 hours ago that they melted it and gave it to Murtala Yamarai or whatever. And then the PDP too. The candidate of the PDP for the Amak election is from Garki village there. So you can imagine the distance because it's a son of Garki, and then he has a large followership. Most of the indigenes in Garki are his kids and kin. Okay. And then the other one too, the APC, they are currently the leaders of the political leaders of the current polity. So it is a matter of the melting point of the incumbency factor and the distance. Even though because of cross-tribal politics and inter-ethnic politics, there are some that even decided to do away with the issue of party belonging. You will see somebody in APC but secretly in the night campaigning for PDP. You will see somebody in PDP secretly in the night campaigning for APC. The PDP candidate is from Garki and the APC candidate is from Karshi. So you can see the distance there. And then Garki has been the distance owing by its originality at the center point of the Bajis, at the center point of so many other tribes, and at the cosmopolitan center whereby people from all parts of the country converge there, even trying to outnumber the number of the original indigenes. So you can see the distance. But there is one fundamental thing for you to see, the humility, the charisma, and the campaign for people to come out and mass on board by the Sapai, the traditional ruler of Garki, for example. That has assisted in having the tumultuous number of people coming out. This is somebody that is always with his citizenry, always with his commoners, always with his populace, talking about them, all the this in his councillors and the palace, the district head and the rest. He asked everyone to go and mobilize so that there will be massive participation. So I'm not surprised really seeing the tumultuous number of the decision. But the only thing I observe is that there is like, I didn't see the respect for Section 51 of the Electoral Act, which says that you should separate the queue of the males from the queue of the females. And then security, I mean, INEC is hereby called upon to really, as a matter of urgency, go and give rapid response panacea to this problem of inability of the card reader to function effectively, so that those gatherings there will be able to really ease out, so that we'll be able to see less congestion. It is the congestion that will bring about bickering and other things, and then it is those things that will make people go into committal of so many nefarious activities, and then as a result of it we record an unfortunate incident. Even though sections 131, 129 and 123 of the Constitution have talked about chronicles of the number of electoral offenses with corresponding penalties, but greater number of them are ignorant of it. Very few people notice. So INEC should, as a matter of priority, rush and do the decision. If the card readers are not functioning optimally, then you should invoke your power under Section 153 of the schedules of the Constitution and then allow it to go without the card reader.
Okay, thank you very much. We expected more representative from INEC, and hopefully they will get to address that. And Shuaibu in Gwagwalada is online for an update. Shuaibu, again, talk to us. What is happening where you are?
This is polling unit 004 in Daigri Primary School in Gwagwalada, Central of Gwagwalada Area Council. Here in this polling unit, we have 6 voting points. And out of these 6 voting points, is only one that have mammoth crowd that you see the eligible voters queued behind to exercise their civic responsibilities, while the other 5 have less, not more than some 6, some 11, some 10 registered voters to exercise their civic responsibility. In this polling unit, we have large turnout of eligible voters. Before now, the APC state chairman, Abdulmalik Osman, just came and exercised his civic responsibility, while others are waiting anxiously to do the same. The security personnel here are strategically stationed to mount surveillance to ensure peaceful conduct of the exercise. This is the situation right here in Daigiri Primary School. It's back to you in the studio.
For that update, thank you so much. Now, Minister, this INEC, created more polling units, and then this particular one in Gwagwalada, it's a polling unit with different other various polling voting points.
Yes, 6.
Okay, what do you have to say about this?
Well, it is a very good thing. In order, the more the number of the voting points, the more the ability of them to discongest, and the more the civility with which to manage the turnout. You understand? What is important is on the part of the political parties, on the part of the INEC itself, on the part of the candidates. There is deficiency in terms of voter education. Sensitization, voter education is what we are lacking. INEC need to really beef up in that respect. The extent to which they educate people and sensitize them in this respect is very minimal. The only thing you will see to really believe that election is approaching, the number of posters you see on the streets pasted, the number of bamboozled vehicles they use with loudspeakers, campaigning and singing and the rest. These are the things they see. But sensitization is very, very important. When you take the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, sections 221 to 228, especially 223 that talks about the decision, it is the responsibility of this thing. Even if you take the INEC as a body under section 153 of the Constitution, its number 1 responsibility is sensitization, education, and then bringing up the people the knowledge for them to know what is going on. So when you create additional polling centers, you should sensitize and educate the people ahead of time. Let so voters know that they belong to so polling units, they belong to so this thing, your name has been moved to so this thing. Not on the until on the election day you come and display the voters list there.
We have something, an update on polling units. I'm told we have some empty polling units somewhere in Amak.
Yes, because
let's have that update. Let's see what is happening there. I think it's from Mariam Jutubo.
I'm here at polling unit 005 here in Pedi, and as you can see, it's a shadow of itself with no voter in sight. I have with me the presiding officer in the person of Valentine Arinze, who will shed more light on that. Arinze, what's the situation here? Because from my timing, it's 10:45. Why are people not here?
The situation over here is still calm. We are still waiting for the accredited voters to come out and cast their vote, as we have been here before the voting time, which starts by 8:30 a.m. and we are going to close the poll by 2:30 a.m.
So, when it's 2 and you don't see anybody, what are you likely to do, please?
Once it is 2:30, nobody is permitted to join the queue again for voting. So once it is 2:30, we'll close and we'll go back to our rack center.
Okay, that's the situation here in Pedi under the Abuja Municipal Area Council. I'll keep you updated as events unfold. I am Mariam George Jutubo, reporting live.
Thank you very much, Mariam. That is quite a disturbing situation, and we're still expecting a representative from the INEC office to probably deal with that. That was what we were just talking about.
That is what we are talking about. Okay. You see them, all those people who are supposed to be there that is empty, are somewhere where traditionally they know that is where they have been going there to vote. They will go there, they will see their names there displayed without anybody educating or informing them. No. Because of the congestion there, because of the distance, because there is a requirement that we cannot accredit more than 500 people at a particular polling center. So we have decided to move you to so place. That thing is not there. They did not inform anybody. Nobody has been educated about that. People need to be educated. People need to be informed. People need to be sensitized. People need to even be coached regarding how to use one thing or the other on the election day. People need to be educated on the do's and don'ts. There should be code of conduct kind of a booklet to be circulated, or you go with your own mobilization publicity vans to the affected area and inform people in loudspeakers that people are advised to go to in front of Mr. So somebody's house, or so primary school, or so primary health care center and check, because some names have been moved there, so that 2-3 days earlier than today, people will have been able to go there and find out that, no, yes, our names have been relocated to this place. And these are the things that are bringing unnecessary apprehension and confusion at some election centers, where you will see tumultuous number of people. Everybody will say, I have come, this is my voting center, but my name is not in your register. My name is not in the register. The designated presiding officer there, as far as he's concerned, he is working by the list given to him. He is not aware that some names have been taken away from that place to another place, because probably that was not where he served as presiding officer at the previous elections. He has not been informed, and it is not his fault. But unnecessarily, because of apprehension, because of political commitment, some people will be raising now, say, I must vote, I must exercise my civil franchise, this is my polling center. So definitely this type of lapses should immediately be checked. Even if there is the room, INEC should go to the original old centers and sensitize the people that anybody that didn't see his name should please go to so polling center and check. There is a new polling center we have opened. There is a list there. Go and check. Then on the basis of that, INEC should do justice and fairness to the electors. The number of hours wasted before the proper commencement of the election there, they should see the possibility of extending maybe from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, so that those people whose times have been wasted while they are at the different wrong distance, they should be able to go there and then see the basis to exercise their franchise. Otherwise, you will end up losing such votes. And then no matter how little is a vote, it matters when it comes to election. We have seen it in the case of governorship election in Sokoto State, whereby Governor Tambuwal won by a very, very slim margin. After even the second election, the decent, very, very slim margin. I think it was just about 100 votes. So every vote matters. Those votes cannot be jettisoned anyhow like that, because they constitute the political primordial interest of a candidate, and that candidate is interested. So you shouldn't leave it just to INEC. Political parties, even though by the INEC, by the Electoral Decent Act, they are supposed to stop campaigning 24 hours to election. But this one is not campaigning. If INEC doesn't do that, maybe their polling agents that are there at the decent should be able, anybody that you see trying to foment trouble, you advise him, no, don't worry yourself. It is a simple matter. A new polling unit has been created out of this unit. It is in Mr. So-so-so, in front of Mr. So-so-so, somebody's house, or near so-so-so primary health care center, or near so-so-so market, or near so-so-so primary school. Please go and check there. You will definitely likely see your name there. And simple civility in handling that matter will really do the magic of giving us the panacea to this problem. So it is my humble optimism that this prayer is taken immediately, and they dispatch rapid response people to go and apply it with civility, with caution, with very friendly approach. People will be able to realize that it is what do you call logistic problem of inadequacy of sensitizing them and educating them about that development.
Okay. Now, so far, so good. Still talking about logistics and all that deployed for this election. INEC, you know, you've been telling us about the innovations, the beavers, and all that. And from what we have seen, what do you have to say about the latest or new innovations by INEC for these elections?
Well, the latest of the innovations, INEC, it must continuously continue to upgrade, especially as we are dreaming of having probably electronic elections in the future. INEC must continue to do it and must continue to train and retrain its own staff. In a situation whereby INEC is relying preponderantly on hired officers. You recruit ad hoc staff without giving them the adequacy of the training and this. That will account to even the problem you are witnessing at the Garki Center there. You have them there, some of the card reading machines are not functioning. The ones that are functioning at a very slow level. If there probably was a rehearsal on the side of those to manage the elections at the polling centers, probably that will have been eliminated. There are so many innovations INEC would like to bring, but they are waiting on the dictate and direction of the country, which is really wrong. Section 153 of the Constitution has given INEC unflinching power to determine and design elections that will suit Nigeria. And you know, election is a dynamic matter. The society is progressing every day, especially in the area of ICT and in the area of IQ technology. So it is important for INEC to continue doing it, but you cannot succeed, no matter how much technology you deploy, you cannot succeed if you don't take the custodians of democracy, the citizenry, as per Section 14, subsection 1 of the Constitution. If you don't take the citizenry into cognizance and ask them to be the drivers by educating them very well, what is lacking in our election political system, sincerely speaking, is lack of electioneering information and publicity. It is very, very important. Electioneering, voters' education is what we are lacking. The political parties stand up. The INEC should take off. The National Orientation Agency should speed up. The respective ministries of information at the federal, at the state, at the local government should speed up. And then one fundamental institution that should be responsible for all these evolutions of technological advancements, all these evolutions of trying to make a common man be the real winner of democratic fair play, is the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Okay. It is very, very important. Before 1985, it used to be office of the Secretary to the Federal Government. Federal government means government at the federal level. Federation means components of federal, states, and local governments. Okay. It is this office that should try to work out a symbiotic working relationship. Whatever the federal government would like to evolve, whether it's a decision at the level of the Federal Executive Council, whether it's a decision that has to do with security under Section 153 K, L, and M of the Constitution, and Sections 214, 214 to 216, and by extension to 219 of the Constitution, whether it is a matter of revenue decision, whether it is a matter of any order you want to bring about, executive order or what have you, you have to really get the stake of the local government councils, the stake of the state governors, and get their input before you now advise the federal government on the decision to take. So that whatever decision federal government takes, it will now cascade down, so that at the end of it, the ultimate person that will catch the ball will be the common man.
We have a call from our correspondent in Buari. Hello, how are you alive?
Yes, good afternoon, studio. Yes, the situation report this afternoon around some polling units is the same story. The biometrics are not really functioning.
Okay.
Yes.
The beavers. Okay, did you speak to any of the INEC or officials to tell you what they are doing about it?
They are all on deck to ensure that the biometrics are working. One of the INEC officials took it out to CBEO to find a solution to the problem.
Okay. When did voting eventually start at Buari this morning? Because when we called earlier, they had not started.
Yes. Most of the one I just left now, they have started manually.
Okay.
Manually. They are doing it manually. The EO is on it. They have collected some of the B-vans that are there to check it with the residing officer.
Okay, okay. Tell us how far security situation in Buari?
The security situation is perfect, to be honest. The security men are going round. Even as we speak, they are passing me on the way, driving to most of the polling units in all the 10 wards.
Okay. Thank you very much. And how are the electorates conducting themselves?
It's peacefully. No problem. Everybody is standing by, hand crossed.
Functioning beavers. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thanks so much.
Yes, I think there is a lot to learn from Buari Area Council, especially going by the hiccup problem we are witnessing in Garki, where the electronic devices are bringing hitches. Revert to manual. It is there, you have the unflinching right to do that as INEC. Okay. Revert to manual so that these things will be simplified and easing out. There is one fundamental thing that we should give into cognizance. It means the significance of FCT itself. When you take in Nigeria, when you take a TOSA local government, when you take Kano Municipal Area Council, Abuja, Kaduna North local government, and then the FCT, you understand. These are the places you will see, visibly you will see the semblance of the existence of infrastructure entrenched. And that is the reason why people are interested in it. It is only in these areas in the country you will see local government areas generating billions of naira. Local governments in this, especially in Abuja, let us be frank and sincere, we are having a deficit in terms of infrastructural entrenchment at the level of the FCT. In the night when you go, most of the streets are dark. When you go, there are so many, what do you call it, sanitary system is low, insecurity level is increasing. So greater of it, the intervention of the local government area councils are the ones people are greatly relying on. Even though, to give credit to the FCT administration, they are doing it very well in terms of infrastructural entrenchment, especially roads. Okay. But other things that directly are germane to the common man's life, talking about medical service delivery, currently the primary teachers of the FCT are on strike. That is another thing that that affects the common man, because the rich men, most of their children are in private schools, so they don't even know that a strike is going on. So we should see so much of the entrenchment of, let at least in each of the wards in Abuja, let us have maternity center, for example, in the interest of the women folk. Let us have maternity center, let us have primary health care upgraded to at least a general hospital in all the distance, and let us have if you are relocating people to know this thing, let us see it done rather than always intimidating people about this thing. If you are leaving them, go and make life meaningful, better for them. Look at Garki, for example, in the area. Garki doesn't have even motorable roads. Go and entrench roads in Garki. Let us have sufficiency of water in Garki. Let there be established this general hospital in Garki. Let Garki has a local market rather than the other market, because when you have the other market that local people cannot go and it's too expensive to rent a shop, where will the common man be? Where will the villagers that are bringing their farm products and the distance be? So let there be a local market around Garki area, and let there be a permanent praying ground for the Muslims, rather than on Salah day they come and block the roads and they are praying and the distance. So let's
take another report now from our INEC office. There's an update from INEC. Okay, Aisha, if you can hear me, you're on.
As part of efforts to monitor this election to ensure that it's seamless and voters cast their ballots safely, the road safety has accompanied the REC to this polling unit. Let's get to hear the observation or comment from the sector commander.
Thank you very much. It's a collective responsibility. We are all working together. You can see that all of us, all the services are on ground to ensure that there is safety and there is also security during this time. We are participating in the area of ensuring that the roads are free. Any blockage or whatever kind is being removed from the road. And any emergency, we have our ambulances all over the place to respond to every form of emergency. So these are the things that we're concerned about. As I'm talking to you, we're moving around all the area councils to see what is happening and to ensure that there's participation in every area of this election.
Okay. This is the first area polling unit you have visited, the area 2006 polling unit. What are your observations, and those are accompanied here, what are the observations people made?
First of all, people are coming out to vote, and people are taking queues and they are voting peacefully, and the machines are working properly. You know, we have some actors as standbys, so that if there's any problem, they will do. Also, you know, this outing consists of the ICSES, that is Inter-Agency Consultative Committee on Election Security, which includes, you know, the INEC Commissioner, the CP, all the members of the security forces. You can see armed forces, army, navy, you know, civil defense, immigration, customs. All of us are here, so that, you know, from what we have seen, we have also observed the competence and the training received by the POs. They are doing peacefully.
Okay, so from this location now you are moving to another location?
Just one location, you know, so that we'll look at it again, you know, and make some comparison. If there is any other thing, you know, I'm sure I will follow up. We will be, you know, all of us, including the members of ICSES, we are monitoring also the election from our offices. But there is a need for us to go out at least to 1 or 2 polling units, you know, and see exactly what is happening physically. That's why we are out, you know. But you know, later in the day, you know, for example, like after 12 o'clock, we'll go out and see again the progress, you know, before the close of the polls.
Okay, you have heard from the REC. The monitoring exercise continues. We'll still keep you posted as events unfold. It's back to you in the studio.
Thank you very much, Aisha, and that was the REC on monitoring.
Yes.
And we are expecting him here to probably to answer some questions. Now, we're talking about the peculiarities, you know, of the FCT area councils, but we know that, you know, they enjoy some sort of independence. You know, what do you think, you know, are the reasons for this?
No, the reason is because they have been less emasculation or control from their FCT minister. That is one. FCT minister is somebody you must give the credit to him. He is somebody who is always interested in being just fair and balanced. And then when you take of look at it very well, he has a very, very competent, astute women mobilizer, the Minister of State, Dr. Ramatu Tijani Aliu. She's a grassroots astute politician. She's somebody who assisted very well in the evolution of President Muhammadu Buhari's candidature, and she moves about like a monster. You will see her imprint in all the nooks and corners of the FCT. So she's giving him the advice, let our developmental records and legacies be entrenched in the performance of the local government structure. And then as much as possible, they give them the independence. Like I said, even within their own political party, talking about the squabbles within the APC at the level of the AMAC, at the level of Kwali area councils, they didn't interfere themselves. They allow even people from outside to come and settle the squabbles. So that is an exemplary quality of the leadership we have at the FCT, at the level of the minister and his Minister of State.
Okay, so you continue. I'm told that Deborah in Kwali is standing by for an update. Hello, Deborah.
This is Shedan Galadima Primary School Body Unit 004. Here we have about 2,031 registered voters here. But then you can see that the crowd is overwhelming, and here we are made to understand that voting has not really begun. Here we have one of the presiding officers here, and she will be explaining to us what exactly went wrong, that as at this time of the day, voting is yet to commence in this place.
Good morning, my name is Lehat. When we came, actually became a bit late, and the crowd were already much, so we are trying to control the crowd and begin the election.
So but there's not like social distancing from what I'm seeing here.
Actually, we are going to separate both male and female. We are going to do that very soon. The male one side, female one side, and those with disability, elderly, pregnant women, we are going to separate them and attend to them very, very soon, so that those with disability, we shouldn't stress them much, so that they don't.
Okay, the voting is going to stop. Voting will stop by 2 p.m. So how are you going to manage this?
The voting is stopping by 2:30 p.m. But the thing is, those on queue already, we are going to attend to them. But the ones that they are not on queue before 2:30, we will not attend to them. So we will stand. I am the PO3, so I will stand at the back. The ones on the queue, even if it is 2:30, we are going to attend to them since they are on queue already.
Well, this is the situation here at Sheda Galadima Primary School Body Unit 004 at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deborah. That's quite a large crowd there at that polling unit somewhere in Kwali. And while that report was going on, we had the privilege to welcome the Resident Electoral Commissioner, INEC FCT, Alhaji Yaya Bello. It's good to have you on set, sir.
Oh, thank you very much.
Quite a day. How has it been?
It's very hectic. Thank God, we deployed in good time, and polling started in good time. From your own correspondent, you have monitored that one.
Okay.
And, we have been going around, in some places the turnout was low, but you can see in some other places the turnout is large. Okay. Especially where we have, for example, a unit that is more than 1,000 or 2,000. So these polling units, we have taken care of them. We have, deployed more than one Vivas in order to take care of them. Okay. Happily, where we went, in some places, the Vivas, they told us it took only 2 minutes to accredit, and people voted. Unfortunately, like machineries, automation and technology, there is a plus and minus somewhere. So in some, it was not working properly. That is understood. That's why we deployed a lot of RACTEX, technicians very close to, each polling stations. And we have been also where we went again. There was a confusion, rising, I think, from a misunderstanding of the ad hoc staff. They insisted, in many cases where you see a rowdy session, is where they insisted that the biometrics or the fingerprints must be captured as well as the facial, which is not true.
Okay.
You know, once you capture the biometrics, if the face doesn't capture, one is entitled to vote.
Okay.
The machine, you know, is a departure from the smart card reader, whereby if you the fingerprint fails, you have no option, you have no alternative. This one, if the fingerprint fails, you have another alternative. That is the facial. Now, if the facial guess, then it means that is the owner of the thing, and he is duly accredited to vote. We have been now, going around to pass this information to our hoc staff who may have misread, this at the beginning. So far, and whereby there are other places, if there is a complete breakdown of the beavers, there are standbys, while the other one that is, is malfunctioning could be taken away and taken care of. In the meantime, we substitute with a new, fresh one. I have been able to gather, this complaint about non-functioning, and we have, escalated it to our ACT departments, and they are working on it, and they are replacing them with new ones. Okay,
before we continue, sir, we have our correspondent who is attached to the Minister of State. I think she has an update for us. Ifeanyi Zumba, if you can hear me, tell us, what is happening where you are.
Registered voters in the nation's capital will today file out to participate in the election of officials into the territory's 6 area councils. Statistics from the Independent National Electoral Political Parties and 472 candidates will participate. Right now, I am at the residence of the FCT Minister of State, Ramatu Tijani Aliyu. We are here to find out what measures the FCT administration has taken to ensure that the set standards of conducting election in the country is met. Though we are yet to speak with the minister.
Okay, thank you very much, Ifeanyi. I hope you get to speak with the minister soonest. Now, Honorable Rek, yes. While you were coming in, we had a report, from Kwali. We'd have massive turnout of voters, and as at 10:45, the voting had not commenced. That was what we were playing before you came in. So, in that situation, what will happen?
What is going to happen is very simple. First of all, I don't know what caused the deployment, which I'm going to find out immediately. Number two is that by the virtue of our own, the Electoral Act, what is going to happen is very simple. They are already there. If there's a late deployment, there's also going to be a late time to attend to them. Period.
Okay.
We cannot say it is 2:30 and they should not be attended to. No. So long as they are there, whatever is the problem will have to be solved and they will be attended to, no matter at what time.
Okay.
That is the solution.
Okay, and just before you came in also, we had a correspondent somewhere here in Amak. We had a situation of empty polling units. The officials, INEC officials are there, but not a single person came out to that polling unit to register. And from some of the inputs we got from other respondents, they said there is no adequate sensitization for people to know that their polling units, was moved or have been moved in a place. So what do you have to say about that?
First of all, you said the polling unit was empty. And also you said that INEC officials were there. That is
their electorates are not there to cast their ballots, but your people are there.
No, it can't be. Because this, in a polling unit that is 0 polling unit, we did not deploy anybody, we did not deploy materials, we did not deploy personnel. If there is any personnel in a 0 polling unit, I would be wondering very much, because we have 593 polling units, and all these 593 polling units were, 0 polling units. There was no ballot papers, no ballot boxes, no result sheet, no personnel, no deployment.
We would want you to look into that. We'll call our correspondent who went there.
Yes.
Your personnel are there, materials are there, no voter.
If I know if the correspondent will tell you the number of the polling units, if you can communicate with me, then we will see how, because we couldn't have deployed anybody in a 0. But if there is 1 to 50, if that's, maybe your correspondent must have missed that one.
Okay.
That's different between 0 polling units, and 1 to 50. We have 1 to 50. And if it is only one that is listed there, we deploy our personnel and materials in order to capture that one voter who is going to come. So it is not something out of the ordinary that you see that our staff are deployed to where there is one voter. We are waiting for that voter, just only that one, to come and cast his or her vote. But if it is a 0 polling unit, there is no INEC personnel and no nothing, no agent, no nothing.
Okay.
If I get that, if your correspondent will please, you have my telephone number, let your correspondent, you or text me, then I will ask somebody very close to that place to go and verify, because we will never deploy to a 0 polling unit. But if it is 1 unit, like I said, because we have 0 to 50, we have 0, and we have 1,000 plus units. In the 0, let me say it again for clarity. In the 0 unit, no ballot papers, no boxes, no result sheets, no personnel.
Okay.
In 1 to 50, we deploy fully, AP or 1, 2, 3, or what have you, so that if that one single voter comes out, he'll be able to vote. But in an area where it is 1,000 plus, we have deployed our staff and more than one beaver in order to take care of them and to avoid congestion. I think this is clear enough.
Okay, you've gone round from the fielders. You are getting any challenges from the field apart from the beavers?
No, there's no challenge. People are voting very peacefully. In fact, I went out not alone. I went out with the ICSES, Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security, which includes the Police Commissioner FCT, who is a co-chair, like I am the chair, he's a co-chair, and all the members of security apparatus in FCT. In fact, I've left them.
Honorable, I'll get back to you. We have our correspondent far away in Abaji. He has an update for us, from Abaji. Onotu, please, can you talk to us?
The field operating officer.
Okay, Onotu is not ready. Okay, Honorable Rek, you were talking to us about your...
My own?
Honorable Rek, please, you were talking to us, about your collaboration with the security agencies.
With the ICSES, they came, we went round together in order to them to see how peaceful this election is being conducted. But wherever we went, the election was being conducted without any rancor.
Okay. Now, how far with the ad hoc staff? How have they been behaving? Have they all received their money?
Like I said, from not where I went, they said that the ad hoc staff were insisting on capturing both the fingerprints and the photograph.
Okay.
Now we have sent word around. It's not so. Once you capture the photograph and the fingerprint refuse, then allow person to vote. Okay. Once you capture the fingerprint and allow that person to vote, that is why it's a departure from the viewer, that we can use an alternative.
Okay.
In viewer, in the smart card reader, we had no alternative. So this is but that we have not noticed any much challenge as far as we are concerned.
Okay.
You want to thank me for coming?
Before I let you go, you seem to be in a hurry to go.
Yes,
Honorable Rek. You have this platform.
Commanding officer.
Okay, you have this platform again, please.
Yes, sir.
What assurances do you have for residents as
by the grace of God, no matter what challenge, even as I'm speaking with you,
yes,
before just even about 2 days or so ago, the Honorable National Chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, has also approved, for each area council, another deployment of vehicles, especially motorcycles, tricycles in rural areas to cater for the rec tax. Apart from the arrangement we made before, this is just 2 days ago, the National Chairman approved for, this is to take care of any problem with the beavers. So, no matter how remote an area is, there is a provision and transportation to respond very quickly in case there's any problem with the beaver. So, even here in the urban center, in our office, I have some vehicles at standby in case the directors need some mobility. so that we can attend to any emergency in respect of the beavers. We you know, even some of us human beings, you know, the first I will tell you, you know, some of our systems can function sometimes and function again, you know, so let alone the machinery. So we are taking care of it, and by the grace of God, this election will be conducted very peacefully, and the people will be able to vote no matter how time it is for them to stay. If they are there, we will not send them away after 2:30. They will be captured.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Rek.
Before
you go, please, let's see. Onotu is somewhere in Abaji. Is he ready?
Yes. Let me
to talk to us, please.
Yes.
Excellent.
Is Onotu ready to talk to us? Okay, Onotu, let's hear from you. What's happening in Abaji? Where you are in Abaji right now?
Well, okay, I am at Abaji Southeast at Abaji North rather, at Hassan Wanzam Ward, where we have polling unit 016. One peculiar thing to this environment, fact that if you can see behind me, you will see that the crowd is actually really, and the situation here at the polling booth there seems to be overwhelming on both the officials and security agents, security operatives here. What the situation is that the crowd has taken over the control of that place. Even verification of prospective voters that are supposed to go in there have been overshadowed, and you know the situation has become so rowdy. To my surprise, the security operatives that are supposed to help the poll officials coordinate this place, seem to have been helpless in the situation. In fact, when a patrol team they came in, all they did was just simply ask questions. It wasn't as if they had anything to contribute, and then they left again, a detachment of joint operatives. But I have somebody, a party agent, who is here to talk to me on this issue. Now, can you tell us your name?
Brian Umar Farouk.
All right. Tell me, what is the situation here? What has been your challenge, please?
We are facing many challenges here. One, the Viva used to work, and the total number of ballot paper right here 1,710. At least we have only 6 that capturing, and people here, the security are not doing their work here. They look at how the place is crowd. We are to vote, and the ballot paper, all they just cover the ballot paper. Are you voting for? You not see where the ballot paper. And some people are voting. They are watching the security need to do something pertaining here, because we should do election, because we don't have time here.
Now, have you people made any effort to attention of the poll officials?
We talk with them, they should stop it, but they refuse to stop, because we have the right to stop the election, because we need the election to go smooth. Look at how people are crowding.
Okay, thank you very much, Onotu from Abaji there.
But they
I think before the rec response to that, I think
work of the security here.
Somewhere in Amak,
the security have the right to
because
make
the rec really
back, but they are not.
Okay, Kede is not ready. Honorable Rek, that is Abaji. What do you have to say concerning what the reporter just brought to us?
Yeah, well, like I said, we are receiving some reports from other places in respect of the function of the Viva. Like I said again before, you know, it arose out of maybe ignorance of an insistence, you know, from some of the ad hoc staff who misread the issue. The Viva, if it captures your fingerprints, you can vote. You don't have to insist on the face. If it captures your face, you have to vote. It doesn't insist on this one. It's not a smart card either. Okay. It has an alternative. Okay. So in fact, it is that we are sending. That's why you see me trying to hurry out of as if can I go? Yes, so that we can go.
You will go now. You can go. Let's take this report from Ekene now, please.
Thank you, sir. Congrats.
Ekene. Okay, can I tell us where you are right now and what is happening there?
Behind me is polling unit 011. There are several others across the road. So the turnout here is, quite low, quite understandable because of the number of polling units concentrated in this area. And from what we've seen, the voting is going on smoothly. A lot of people have been able to cast their votes, unlike what we saw in the other polling units where the beavers was slow. We've seen we've spoken to a number of persons that have cast their votes, and they told us that the beavers, worked perfectly, and they were able to cast in little time. I'd like to speak to one of the voters here. Okay. Good morning, sir. How are you? Thank you. Please tell us your name. My name is Chief Tony Amadi. Some of the issues from the voters here, why there is seemingly voter apathy in the area. I'm still speaking with some of the...
You've
Those are the issues around here. Informer, if you can hear me, that's the situation from...
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ekene. You've done really well. Thank you so much. Now, so much was said, you know, at that polling unit. Particularly of interest is that some of the respondents say they don't
know the candidates
to vote for.
Yes.
What do you have to say concerning that?
Well, definitely they don't know the candidates, especially when you are talking about the ruling party, the APC. They don't know the candidates because the APC has been having internal squabbles. If you take the history of the AMAC, for example, it used to be a politics of political merchandise and godfatherism. There are some political merchants who will be the ones normally to sponsor candidates. And the incumbent chairman, Abdullahi Kandido, happens to be one of those products. But Kandido, when he emerged, his own godfather said, this is the candidate that I want. That candidate, together with the candidate of the political dynasty of the FCT, that is Alassane Gwagwa's family, the two of them clashed, and at the end of it, another candidate now emerged differently. So the three now, in view of that, they now ended up having themselves in court. So APC has not gotten even a standard flag bearer to warrant it even going into electioneering campaign. This thing continued until about